Thanks for joining our monthly community webcast. I'm Jürgen Kress, a member of the product management team. In case you missed one of our webcasts, on-demand recordings are available. For details, please see our monthly community newsletter and subscribe to our Video Hub partner channel. In today's presentation, Martin de Grun will present real-world Oracle Digital Assistant success stories, including demos. Good afternoon, Martin.
Good afternoon, Jürgen.
So Martin, the Oracle Digital Assistant is an enterprise bot. What is your favorite use case?
It's a tough question, Jürgen. I have many favorite use cases. I'll definitely show some of them. A recent one which was really nice was a digital assistant on a supplier portal. I really like that. It was helping suppliers basically access data easier and work with the procurement department. So that's an interesting use case. But I'll definitely show more today, Jürgen.
Excellent, thanks. Looking forward. As the Oracle EMEA Innovation Officer, I think you will also include a lot of live demos in your presentation.
I'll definitely do that.
That's excellent, thanks. So with Oracle Digital Assistant, you can build customized bots, and you can also use pre-built SaaS skills and templates, for example, for HCM or Oracle Service, and you can leverage and extend them as a partner. Skills and templates are available for almost all SaaS services, including HCM, sales, expense, logistics, or Oracle applications like PeopleSoft and Siebel. Our objective of today's call is to inspire you to position Oracle Digital Assistant at your customer base and leverage successful customer use cases to provide business value for your clients. We will also highlight digital assistant templates to build a customer proof of concept or rapidly start with an enterprise bot. So let's get started. Please pay attention to the Oracle Safe Harbor statement. Please blog and tweet only about services and functionality which is available today. Quick housekeeping. Please feel free to post your questions via the conference Q&A tool or via Twitter #PaaScommunity. At the end of the webcast, we will answer them. Slides will be available at the Video Hub channel and our community websites. Please share your feedback via the Zoom survey at the end of the webcast. For today's agenda, I will introduce the webcast and do some quick announcements, and then I will hand over to Martin. On the integration side, thank you very much for all partners. I'm sure you have seen the Gartner Magic Quadrant, and Oracle is now the leading provider. So thanks for the wonderful collaboration, and please make use of it. Please present it also to your customer base. We continue to offer the 3-day hands-on trainings for any SaaS partners who would like to get hands-on trained. And the goal is that you're able to build a proof of concept and run a demo. Upcoming dates include India in April, South America, Bangalore, in-class training, April 27th and 28th. And then we offer in May, APAC and EMEA. For details and registration, please see the monthly community newsletter. All updates are also presented at our community website. On the digital assistant side, we also offer a hands-on training for SaaS consultants and developers who would like to build a conversational AI. And that's a great first step to attend the training and build a proof of concept. Upcoming dates include South America in end of March, April in US and EMEA, and we also offer a training Asia time zone and a training in Portuguese in May. For details and registration, please see our developer community newsletter. We also updated the developer community website. There you can find the latest newsletter, upcoming trainings, our monthly webcast, the link to the Slack channel where you can get support, and most important, the documentation where you can also find some labs and samples. Today's webcast is live and recorded, and you can watch the on-demand webcasts at our community Oracle Video Hub channel. For customers, we did run recently our quarterly product update. So if you missed it, it's available on demand, and we introduced there the latest feature and functionality. We continue a series of success webcasts. In the next webcast, April 12th, Prime 1 and ORS, that's Austrian radio and broadcast station will present a wonderful use case where they connect SAP and Oracle Service Cloud with billing and revenue management. For details, please see our customer newsletter. And on the digital assistant side, if you work on a project, I would highly recommend our best practice webcast series. It's a series of 6 webcasts with different topics to build better bots. It's all available on demand, including download and samples. We also run a customer success webcast series on the digital assistant side, and the next one will take place April 25th, where we focus on the HCM bot. All the webcasts are available on demand, so if you missed one, like the insurance one or the one for analytics, please watch them on demand. And something new, we start also on the digital assistant side with quarterly product update webcasts. The first one will take place March 29th, this week. Please join Robbie Jones and myself, and registration is open at bit.ly/ODA March 23. For all details, we provide the customer newsletter. So with that short introduction, I would like to hand over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Jürgen. And bit.ly builds better bots. That's a fantastic bit.ly link to indeed the best practices. I'll refer to them as well in this session. All right, welcome everyone. So yeah, Jürgen invited me to drive this session to inspire you. So let me short introduce myself. So I work in the EMEA Tech organization. I lead a team of specialists on Oracle Digital Assistant, a digital assistant specialist leader. That's my role. So we work with customers just like you to get them started with Oracle Digital Assistant. Of course, we're a very small team. We're also not doing any projects. So for us, right, what we really do is inspire customers, give them ideas, give them, you know, maybe a quick prototype or something to get started with. And I hope with what I share with you today, you're also empowered to go to your customers and start inspiring your own customers. So I set up an agenda that is centered, first of all, around getting some good understanding of what you can do with Oracle Digital Assistant and get some use cases up and running. Then I think what we also see is a trend now that everyone wants to have a real conversational interface. So while maybe 1 year ago in certain situations, customer would ask me, well, you know, if you just do a menu-driven bot, that's also pretty fine. But that's not anymore the conversational interface baseline anymore, right? It needs to be really conversational. And I want to show you how Oracle Digital Assistant is a powerful tool to build it up in the second session. We also have within the EMEA team built a template to do something very simple, right? If you have some sort of knowledge document, how can you quickly create a Q&A document out of it? So we have a template for it. I'll share with you with that. It is at your own risk to start working with it, but it is definitely very well documented. So it's a good tool to have in your repertoire. SQL Dialogues is a Word webcast by itself, but we are working on within the EMEA team to target Fusion ERP customers. I'll talk about that. And with Oracle Digital Assistant, you can also extend it with all other OCI services, of course. And I'll have some examples in my agenda there too as well. All right, well, let me get started then with the use cases side. And please feel free to copy and paste these bit.lys. Because these are the recordings of the latest customer success webcasts, which you can find them. But I'll give you a summary now because it is my first take to give you some sort of hints of, you know, where can you really drive customer satisfaction with Oracle Digital Assistant. All right. Okay. Let me see, and let me show you first of all these webcasts. So. This was the first webcast that we did this year. It was with partner Wind, where we went through a use case of SAP and Tawonia. So let me explain you highlights. Let me give you the highlights of these customers, right? So SAP is the first customer, and you might think with SAP, but SAP is actually HSBC in Saudi, roughly, and they have an Arabic bot, but I don't speak Arabic, so I'll go to the English section of their website, and there you see need help, and there's actually the digital assistant from SAP. And what can it do? It can answer all sorts of questions, right? I want to get a loan. And it helps the customers in the different departments where they're going to go, and they have like these flows to help customers to get started in this kind of process. But also all customer service related queries are in it. And I would say that this type of use case is the baseline of a digital assistant, right? At least create some sort of Q&A that it will help the user in the right direction to get to the right page or to the right process flow, etc. And this kind of thing you can implement in all sorts of channels. Of course, SAP has implemented this also in their mobile app, which I think is a fantastic feat, right? You have already an existing mobile app, but it does transactions, but it doesn't really handle the FAQ bit. So let's handle that then with the digital assistant. And you can build it once, have it on your website, and have it on your mobile app. So this is one part, I would say, where Oracle Digital Assistant can inspire your customers, help them to share information, find information quick, find the right links quick, etc. But of course, there's another aspect to digital assistant, and that is that it can also help in transactional elements, right? It can connect to other data sources. And with that, you can do things on the service side, like create a service ticket and let the service agent email back or call back or whatever. But of course, it also can be something on the sales side. And that is actually also well explained in that webcast by Wind, where they went to their customer Tawunia. Tawunia is an insurance company in Saudi, and they have a WhatsApp channel. So they basically use digital assistant for WhatsApp business, right? So you can ask to their bot, I want to get travel insurance. And it will then ask, you know, the relevant information that you need for the travel insurance, whether you want to fly, and as you can see, it will understand tomorrow, 10 April 2023, it will also understand, right? So different date notations it can work together with. Anyway, this whole flow of, for me, going into the WhatsApp channel of Tawunia and then actually starting to buy here the motor or the travel insurance is completely supported, right? So including transactions to their backend. And of course, the idea is here also to upsell, you know, sell more products, right? And so while on the service side, the whole idea of a digital assistant is more call deflection, getting less calls to the call center. On the sales and the marketing side, it is all about exposing information easier, make omni-channel and make things like WhatsApp and conversational interfaces part of their the processes. And I can't fully buy the travel insurance here because I'm not a Saudi resident, because in the end you need to authenticate yourself. But if you want to know more, definitely dive into that link that I shared you. And then you'll see customer service and sales are core and key projects for the digital assistant. And in terms of scope, you have your knowledge part, generic knowledge, but also your transactions that you can support. What is also in the Tawunia webcast is the live agent handover. Right, so if a conversation in a digital assistant doesn't cannot complete, you can also, of course, continue the conversation in Oracle Digital Assistant. And it doesn't matter what kind of live agent system it is in general. It can be a service live Oracle Service Cloud live agent, but can also be from another vendor. So that is for you as a partner to implement, of course, but we have a template for you to get started on that. Another webcast that I recently did was with another partner, and that partner is Peak Integrators, or now TPX Impact. And let me show you that one, because that's actually, I would say, another category of use case altogether. The webcast is called Analytics and Digital Assistant, but it is actually about an employee use case, right? So you can have customer-facing use cases, improve customer self-service, increase sales and service processes. But from an employee perspective, you have similar kind of things, right? You can have an internal HR help desk, you can have an internal HR analytics desk, etc. So, and to do call deflection, you can build employee bots. And for employee bots, this webinar gives some good hints and things of what you can do with it. And there are a few aspects that I want to highlight out of it. But first on the use case and the value of it, right? So let me go to this slide. Well, okay, there you go. There you go again. Yeah, right. So if you think that employee bots are not so valuable, then think again, because actually, as you can see in this testimonial from HSBC, you can see you can get a good reduction in inbound tickets, resolution time, etc. So also employee bots, I would say, are an important aspect, and you can think of your customers in this way and see, okay, they have customer-facing processes, but also internal processes, and how can a digital assistant help there? Let me give you a snippet of this presentation out of the video itself, just to give you some sort of idea over the use case here. So I'll start somewhere. I'll start somewhere in the middle, but I'll explain it later on when I see where I hit it off, right? So let me try to play it 1.5 minutes or something for you to give you some highlight of this this session.
So we can go in here, I'm saying I want to work as a line manager, and then I can start asking questions about my team, such as what is my headcount? And you can see Ada also brings up either previous questions that you've asked, but also brings up predetermined questions to help the user with the next question to ask, for example. So here we are, I'm saying, what is my headcount? And there we are. I have 140 direct and indirect subordinates. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change role, and I'm going to say work as an HR analyst. So an HR analyst will typically have access to either the whole company or a lot more data within the company. So maybe particular countries or particular organizations. So as an HR analyst, I could ask, instead of what is my headcount, we could ask what is our headcount, as an example. And so now Ada's going away, building up a query, running it against the analytics tool, and here we come back with our total headcount as of today is about 4,500. So that's a relatively simple question. I'm just going to use the up arrow and go back to a previous question, and I'm going to say, what is our headcount by region? And so now what Ada will do is build the same query, but group it by region and show it on a nice bar graph. And with Ada, we have different chart styles available here. I'm just going to say change to a pie, but there's lots of different things you can do with the output in terms of setting decimal places and showing values as percentages instead of numbers, and so on. So there, I've asked a couple of questions like, what is our headcount? What is our headcount by region? We can also interact with the results. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say show by grade and region. So what Ada's going to do now is take my previous query, but change it. And now showing the results by grade and region on a bar graph. And like before, there's other chart styles I can apply. So we've got different types of bar graph. We have, for example.
Anyway, I'll pause it here. But the idea that you need to get out of this is that HSBC has a data source. There's all sorts of interesting information in it for managers. And sure, they can create reports and analytics tools on top of it, but it is much easier, right, to have a conversation with the data. And that's what you're seeing here, right? And what you also see here is a feature that you can use as a partner as well. It's called the headless API feature. So you are in control to build basically the user interface completely as you like. Yes, we have standard web SDKs that you can use and you can customize them, but this is fully built by the partner, and it's a great feature of Oracle Digital Assistant actually to be able to be in full control, and it gives you a lot of flexibility on requirements of customers, etc. So that's the second aspect, I think, which I want to highlight out of this this webcast, and definitely something to look into. The employee use cases by itself. And if you look to employee use cases, then Jürgen already mentioned it, but if you go to our documentation page, right, there is a ton of Oracle skills available, and especially I would say on the employee use case side. So if you look to HCM Fusion, right, there's a lot of standard skills on it, a fantastic candidate experience is in it, both for internally, but also on knowledge, at help desk, etc. But PeopleSoft, eBusiness Suite, there are things. So there's, for a lot of use cases, there are things available for you to get started with your customers if they have an existing Oracle application. And as such, I would say it's really interesting for you to see as a partner, okay, what is the Oracle application landscape, see what the skills are there, and that can be a fantastic starting point for you to get started with your customers. But of course, standard skills is one thing, but of course the other thing is how can I expand it, right? So, and if you look, for instance, to the HCM skills, one of the things that is currently not supported is a full flow for booking a leave, right? But there's nothing stopping us with the Oracle Digital Assistant platform to build that. And so let me just show you how that looks like. There you go. Right, and here's an Oracle Digital Assistant, and you can combine that, combine custom skills and standard skills. But let me just show you a skill here around I want to book an absence. Right, then with Fusion, you have all these absence types. So definitely one of the things you need to think about is how many absence type do I want to support? But typically it's, you know, like the regular holidays, maybe a sick leave. But let me just focus here on a normal holidays flow. And I'll just say when I want to get started, right? Tomorrow and next week, Friday. That is the timing that I wanted. No comment. Is this correct? Yes. And there you go. The ODA flow is ready. And then it needs to call to the HCM APIs and create that absence request. Takes me a little bit of time because my demo didn't start up. But I promise you it will come back with a result. And these kind of custom skills, custom flow capabilities in the ODA platform combined with the standard skills makes it really powerful to create powerful use cases with your customers. So combine standard skills, but think further. What can you do with adding custom skills? And create that what the customer really needs. All right, so that is one other aspect on employee bots. As I mentioned a little bit in the beginning, Jürgen asked me about ERP or what my favorite use case is. Well, there's not really a favorite, but definitely there's a lot of things going on also on the ERP side, right? So Oracle in ERP, you can do things around procurement, like check the invoice status, or do something around employee supplier self-service, expenses. There's a standard skill for it. On transportation management, there's a standard skill for it. Of course, on FAQs and guided learning, you can do things with Oracle Digital Assistant as well. So HCM and ERP use cases are definitely suitable for your customers, because I've seen them before. And if you want definitely more information on the stuff that I'm displaying here, you say, well, I have something around suppliers, reach out to me, or something around absence booking, reach out to me on my LinkedIn page. That's probably the easiest thing to do. All right, but this is a little bit on the use cases side, I would say an important aspect on it. But I also mentioned that one of the things that I definitely see is that the baseline for conversational interfaces is hiring up, right? People want to have now real conversational interfaces, not necessarily menu-driven bots anymore, but just start typing, just start chatting, and there you go. And then what do you need to do for that, right? And Oracle Digital Assistant is a fantastic platform to do that. So let me show you some key features here. I'll not go in depth into this topic, but it's definitely something you need to understand when you want to inspire customers. What are the key features, right? So one of the things that you need to know is that Oracle Digital Assistant extracts, of course, the intent. What is the user purpose? Like he wants to travel somewhere, or you want to book a holiday, that's fine. But in this example, right, I want to travel to London, you also recognize then in Oracle Digital Assistant that actually he wants to travel to London. So that's a location, or you want to extract dates, or you want to extract numbers, or you want to extract money amounts or names, etc. And this we call standard or system entities within Oracle Digital Assistant. But you also have a whole set of business entities, or your own custom entities that you can set up. And we have a fantastic set of features that you can use, like dynamic entities, where you can basically dynamically integrate with list or entities from a backend system, a machine learning entity, a very important type of for you to recognize as well. Right, when people are saying, I want to extract, for instance, a job role. A job role is typically not something that is very specified if a candidate types that in. So you need to recognize it still. So how do you do it? Well, you work with machine learning entities. All this information, by the way, deep dive into our RT bot, and you'll find the information. But the entity extraction is an important aspect. The other aspect is context. Now, there's a lot of things we can say about context. So, but realize that with Oracle Digital Assistant, you can have like short-term memory use, like what did he say in the conversation? But you can also use information from the user, from his profile, from a backend, and say, well, this is, for instance, a VIP customer. And a VIP customer, I can offer him, if he has a problem, a live agent handover, while another customer, I might not offer that quick, right? So there's many different ways you can use user profile, but this is just an example that I know it has been used. And if you use all those elements well in your setup, right, you can go to something that looks a little bit like this, right? So I'll just play another video just to inspire you, just to show you, what the core key capabilities of Oracle Digital Assistant are.
Okay, let's go to the Costco website and have a chat to the bot here. So Kirk makes an introduction, gives an indication how to get help and what kind of assistance. So it looks like I can look up warehouse locations. So let's ask a few questions about warehouse locations. I'd like to find out where my local store is. I'm just outside Foster City. And here I've got the details of the store in Foster City. Can I pick up my meds there? Now this is important because it's understood that we're still talking about Foster City, so it's remembered context and it's understood the city using our ML entity, location entity. Great, thanks very much. Because we're very polite to the bot because it's been helpful. What are their opening hours? Now this is interesting because I've asked about the opening hours and we've assumed, because I was asking about pharmacy, it's showing the pharmacy opening hours of Foster City. So it's remembered two pieces of context in this conversation. Let's try something a little bit different now. I've been told that I have tinnitus, so I might also be worth checking if I can speak to a specialist for a test. Now, what's interesting here, although the bot's not been trained with anything about medical terms like tinnitus, it does understand that this is related to ears and therefore answered it as a question about the hearing tests or audiology department, which we have in that Foster City store. Is there a gas station at this warehouse? And of course, I could have asked this in many different ways.
Anyway, I'll pause there, but a few things that you hopefully got out of this, right? So what you can see is that the user, doesn't use any menus, doesn't use any options. It just talks to the bot. And based on that, based because you know the history of the conversation, because you have worked with machine learning entities or other type of entities, you can build up a real conversational interface. So with Oracle Digital Assistant, you have all the tools to your disposal to build something in terms of conversational interfaces that is top-notch, right? Clearly, it is more work than building simple menu-driven bots, right? Because it's just easier to do that. But with this time, I would say invest your knowledge into entities, business context, user scope variables. Take a look at that. Teach yourself that. If you have any problems, of course, reach out to anyone on the PM side, and you will be able to build something that is really, in this time, the highest level of user interface for an enterprise. All right, so that is, I would say, a really differentiator also from Oracle Digital Assistant to do this very well and quick. I can show you maybe if I have the time. What's my time? Well, let me try it. Let me see if my digital assistant is still up and running. If I have to log in again, then I won't do it. No, it's still there. All right, so I'll just show you, in the platform, right? This is Oracle Digital Assistant, the platform. But if I built here a simple flow where I need to capture 2 standard entities and 1 custom entity. So I want to transfer money, something with banking. Right, the first thing it will ask, okay, what about a credit card? And who do you need to send it to? Alex, which is a name. And how much money, right? 200 euro. Okay, say. All right, and it's captured, therefore, within the flow, right? The intent around transfer money. It captured 2 entities, a name, Alex, the amount, but also, right, the business, the custom entity, credit card, which can also have a credit card name type, etc. And there it goes, right? And of course, with the event handler within Oracle Digital Assistant, right? I want to transfer money to Alex, 200 euro on my credit card. Let me see if this works. Yeah, I should have typed credit card, so I had a synonym in it. But anyway, it will skip now all my questions and it will go directly to that mode. And that is because, of course, we are extracting the entities out of this flow. You can also see that if you go and test your utterances, right? I want to transfer money to Alex, euro on my credit card right now. And here you go, and you see that we have here the entities Alex, the amount, and the custom entity on the credit card side. So use this, know these features within Oracle Digital Assistant, also use to the user scope variable, and be able to work with the context. If you combine these 2 things, you're going to build something really top-notch for your customers, and you get going very quick. All right, that's on the conversational side of things. And best practices series are definitely a good place to go to for more details on it. But there's another aspect, right, which is some customers might come to you, yeah, I want to get started with something really simple, something on knowledge. Do you have something there? Don't want to spend too much time on it, right? It is not necessarily the highest value for them straight away. But you need then to be able to kickstart something quick. And for that, within the EMEA team, we created a what we call the concierge template, and we're happy to share that with you. But let me first explain you a little bit conceptually what it is. So it uses within Oracle Digital Assistant the knowledge feature, right? Where you can upload a knowledge document, and it generates then basically the training model for the intents, picks up the FAQs, etc. But we added an extra twitch to it, and that lies basically in the UI of the digital assistant. So let me start at the beginning. So let's say a customer comes to you and he opens up here with, okay, you know, these are my questions and answers for my users. I quickly want to have it. So you can upload this with the concierge template into your system, and if you do that, then you get, takes you, I don't know, maybe if you do it for the first time, 1 hour or something. Let me see, where is this bot now? Something in front of me. Yeah, here it is, right? So this document, which I just showed you here, just start it, right? So it had something around payslip, right? So if I type in payslip, do it again, payslip. Right, it is there. So that is basically just by reading and using the knowledge feature. But if I type in something like absence, right, and that is the twitch of the concierge template, it basically presents a carousel with several options. And you see the name of the FAQ on top of it. So it can never actually give the user the idea that he has an answer, but he reads it, but he doesn't realize it was an answer to another question. So it solves a lot of things, and you get started very, very quick. Of course, later on, when you have more training data, this whole carousel will definitely not be popping up a lot, because you definitely will train your model then better along the way. But to get started very quickly, we have it fully documented for you, and I'll share that with you. Let me show you the document itself. Yeah. So this is the document. Now, to be clear, this is, you know, basically from the EMEA pre-sales team. So when you are working with it, you're on your own to further explore it. And if there's any issues with the template after a year or something, it is for you as a partner to then work with that. I can't 100% guarantee that we will be supporting it, but for now it is there. I'll definitely use it if I would be you, because it helps you to get kickstarting on these kind of simple use cases there. All right, what is more available for you in this presentation? Yeah. So here you find the concierge share for digital assistant, the concierge template. So try that. There you go. Right. Just press download and you'll get it, and read the document, and it should speak for itself. Okay, next up, on SQL dialogues. Yeah, the key feature for SQL dialogues, in the last session that was explained, but basically it means that you can set up Oracle Digital Assistant and you can connect it to a database. And then with that feature, automatically the bot are able to answer questions on the database tables that you connected to, which is a fantastic feature, right? Because it saves you a lot of time on building intents, and it basically works in this way almost seamlessly out of the box. I wouldn't say completely out of the box, because you still have to configure a lot, but it helps a lot in getting things done very quick. So in an ERP context, what we're trying to think, what we're doing now here in EMEA, but it's not fully worked out yet, so I can't share with you the full documentation. I'll conceptually, I'll explain it to you. So what we do with our customers is, from an ERP perspective, we use Oracle Integration Cloud and the adapters that are in Oracle Integration Cloud, which are fantastic, right? They're event-driven. So you can update your tables in an autonomous data warehouse. So for instance, what is a use case is to do it for the supplier table and for the invoice table. And then based on that, you connect SQL Dialogues of Oracle Digital Assistant into the system, and you have your bot up and running. So let me just show you a little bit on how that would look like then, right? If you work with that, you then have a digital assistant that can answer, you know, all these questions that are in the supplier table, right? And again, there was no intent configured here in the system. Or you can ask questions around the invoice. Let me show me if this one is working. Then get that. Oh, no, this one is working. So here you have like a digital assistant set up by connecting it to database tables, and you can do that by using, for instance, Oracle Integration Cloud in combination with an autonomous data warehouse. Very quickly in this way, you also can present results to your customers. And data exploration, as I said, is an important use case for employee bots. So use this feature, and more details Robbie will explain in the upcoming product call on SQL Dialogues, but definitely an interesting new feature. A little bit out of scope for Oracle Digital. It is part AI services. They are available in OCI. But of course, it's sometimes interesting to think of those AI services for particular use cases. I don't know if I will not list them all, but the most important ones from an Oracle Digital Assistant perspective are the OCR feature, right? You can connect an AI service which can do an OCR. That means you can upload an expense, or you can upload a PDF, read that document, get the data out of it in Oracle Digital Assistant. But another feature which I want to show you today has got more to do with sentiment, right? So what can you do with sentiment analysis? And you can connect the sentiment AI service, AI language service, to Oracle Digital Assistant to get sentiment out. But why would you do that, right? So what does sentiment analysis gain in an Oracle Digital Assistant project? And I think the most important use case that we see within our customers, where we work with, is on the unresolved intent. So just give you an example, right? So if a user types something and the bot doesn't understand it, then there can be two situations, right? It can be a negative sentiment, or can be a positive sentiment, or a neutral sentiment. And this negative sentiment, let's say you figure out that he did type something, or she typed something, but it was negative, you might be earlier inclined to say, I might feel this is a pressing topic for you, so shall I hand it over to an agent? Well, in another way, it might be just a typo or not very well explained, and you just might ask the regular thing to maybe type it again, or give some other way of guidance. Either way, sentiment in the unresolved use case is definitely one of them, but there are other use cases as well. But I think this is definitely one to think about and to get started with. Let me just see if I have that running here. There you go. Update it here. And I'm not, I don't have a demo here where I have a normal Oracle Digital Assistant flow, but I'll just show you within the Oracle Digital Assistant that you can get the sentiment score out. So you can say, I am very unhappy with the current support, and I want to cancel my flight. I don't know, just saying here, right? So clearly, you can, if you build a travel bot, you're probably going to build an intent to do exactly this, to detect these kind of things, right? But let's say this, you just want to get an unresolved and get the sentiment out. Then give me 20 seconds to start up my my demo. You will see that it will show an answer that refers to handing over to an agent. 1 second. There you go. Right, so the answer is, we have not identified your question, but since this could be urgent for you, right, please talk to our live agents, etc. Right, because we detect that this is a negative sentiment. If I would type something right, I want to say thank you to Mike. He was very helpful, and I'm very happy with support. Blah. Now, hopefully that is a very positive sentiment. Yes, it is, right? And then, you know, assuming that this is an unresolved intent, you can therefore define different flows, follow-up flows on an unresolved intent based on sentiment. Just an example, but there are more use cases on it. And I would say, play around with it, at least be aware of it, that you can connect all sorts of AI services to Oracle Digital Assistant, including OCR, including AI Translate, including these features here on sentiment, for instance. Okay, there's a fantastic webcast by a colleague of mine. Please follow this bit.ly, ODA for extensions, where in the cloud coaching webcast, he goes through the AI service, but also a little bit through the concierge template, which we have explained today, and some other cool features. So feel free to type in that bit.ly and take a look. All right, Jürgen, this was it for me in terms of what I was planning to present. Are there any questions?
Martin, thank you very much. Yes, there are plenty of questions. Thanks for the excellent demo. Let me share my screen for the call to action.
Sure.
So that's exciting that you can also combine our digital assistant with many AI services, and thanks for the nice inspiration. If you would like to learn more, make sure you join the developer community. Then you receive the invite to our monthly webcast, and you receive the community newsletter, and you get access to the website. To get started, we recommend that you get a free trial of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, and there you can provision for 30 days free of charge Oracle Digital Assistant. Make use of the training material to build your first demo and proof of concept, and become a certified expert. If you would like to learn more about the SaaS bots like the HCM bot or the ERP bot, there's a specific website, and we highly recommend the best practice website. At the community website, you can find all of those links. So we have a couple of questions. So the first question, Martin, is what's the best way to start with a FAQ project?
A simple question, a simple answer I have there. I shared the concierge template as a starting point for you to get started with. So what an FAQ bot has to do, right? It has to answer the FAQs from the customers, right? So I would say in scoping it, they might come up with 500 or 1,000 ideas, right? But you need to narrow it down to, I would say, between 50 and 100 as a starting point. And then you can use the concierge template to get the carousel in it. So then when your training model is not yet up to par, it still will show a good set of possible answers. So it helps you to get the project off the ground very quickly. So I would start there. Any other questions on your knowledge bot? Because it's definitely a good area to think, right? That's where you need to get started. It's the easiest thing to get things off the ground. Are there any questions?
There's a question, what kind of bots do we have for Oracle ERP?
Yeah, so for Oracle ERP, there are several standard skills, right? So you have skills around expenses, you have skills around transportation management. But I also seen all sorts of bots being deployed, which are built by partners, for instance, around check invoice status, right? So within Microsoft Teams, you can create a digital assistant that talks to Oracle ERP. And I have a customer who said, yeah, I have 60,000 questions to my finance department where they are asking me the invoice status. So can you build something simple? So yeah, so this kind of things can easily be built custom. supplier portals I see on the negotiations flow, but also knowledge bots are there. So yeah, on the ERP side, we see a multitude of different type of angles that you can go to. But I would say the biggest, I would, from my perspective, I would say, you know, invoice status and knowledge sharing from the finance department to the outside world, right, to the other departments, that would be probably an easy start.
Excellent. So talking about ERP, Christian would like to know if there is a bot which can create a purchase order.
Yes, you can do that. Yeah, I mean, from a custom flow perspective, right, you can, I've seen bots where, you know, they created new suppliers. So a purchase order can also be possible. The thing is, you know, the question you need to ask yourself is how does it improve the process, right? So if you need to fill in a lot of data to get this document out, then maybe conversational interface is not just the best way to do it. So it depends, I would say, on your user persona, right? If the user persona doesn't do it very regularly, and then it doesn't matter that he needs to fill in a lot of fields in the digital assistant, and then it's fine. But if you have, you know, users who do it all the time, then I highly doubt that a digital assistant is the best use case to get that going. So it depends, right? Where is the customer? What are the user personas for it? And again, right, so like checking the invoice status is a good one, because of course you can check the invoice in Oracle ERP, no doubt, right? But for a whole set of users, they don't know exactly, they never check the invoice status actually, they don't know where it is, or they don't know the number. So just to make a good conversational interface to either figure out what they actually are looking for, or the follow-up question on, okay, this is status, do you want to contact us or whatever, that is where you drive the value with the conversational interface. Excellent.
So 2 questions for Solina. She's with us and she runs the Competency Center for Digital Assistant in combination with HCM. Solina, so there's a question for the SaaS skill. Is it the Oracle Digital Assistant SaaS skill, is it part of the SaaS solution of HCM?
Yes, so customer, it's bundled together with the HCM Cloud. Customer can actually switch on and use, but we only recommend this for the pilot project. So after the initial pilot, the customer is recommended to subscribe to ODA platform for SaaS in order to continue retraining and improve the digital assistant.
Wonderful. And can you embed and display ODA skills in Fusion applications?
Sorry, is the question about to embed the chart icon, the launch window on the Fusion application home pages?
Yes, and how can you embed it in Fusion applications?
Right. So of course, then we have some training videos already released. I think if you visit our community website, otherwise, once I'm off the questions, and I'll just share the link with you via the chat window.
Wonderful, thank you. Mate, and the next question is again for you, and it's regarding the Oracle Analytics. Is there a pre-built bot for Oracle Analytics?
No, there's nothing pre-built. No. But there are templates that you can use, and really on the analytics side, you can also take a look at what SQL Dialogues can actually bring, because of course that speeds up also retrieval out of an ADW. So I would say SQL Dialogues is basically a template to get that really get started. Yeah.
Maybe you would want to explain in 2 or 3 sentences what SQL Dialogue is.
Yeah, so the SQL Dialogues solution is within Oracle Digital Assistant, and connectivity you can set up between an ADW, so an autonomous data warehouse from Oracle, and Oracle Digital Assistant. And when you set up that connection and you configure the tables, then automatically the digital assistant can retrieve data conversationally out of these tables. So you have like a conversational interface basically that is translating that into SQL statements, right? So if I would say, give me all invoices above $50,000, then it will transfer that conversation into a SQL statement to the database. So that is automatically set up. And as such, I would say a fantastic template in combination with analytics.
Great. Then Frederick has 2 questions about sentiment analysis. Where can he get the plugin, first of all?
Yeah, so on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, so on OCI, right? So that is Oracle's cloud. And when you go to the services, you will find within the AI services, the AI language service. And that's a feature, sentiment is a feature of that particular AI service.
Cool. And then the follow-up question is, does sentiment analysis only identify keywords like happy or unhappy, or does it also capture themes and push them into a dashboard?
Yeah. That was not very good of my demo. I agree. I typed in happy and unhappy. No, of course not. No. It's not of course not just doing that on the keywords. No, it has the feeling based on that particular sentence, and it's definitely not keyword based, but it's a model fully well trained to extract sentiment without keywords. Yeah.
Okay, then there's a question from Mega regarding SQL Dialog, where they get more information. So we did run a webcast with Daniel Teixeira 2 months ago, part of the community webcast series, and it's available on demand. In the community newsletter, you find details, or you can also find them on my blog. Same for the slides of today's webcast. They will be uploaded to the community website and you get access. And within a week, we also publish an on-demand version at the Oracle Video Hub. If you log into Oracle Video Hub, you can also download the slides as a PDF document. Okay. If you have questions, you still can ask them in the Q&A, or you can raise your hand and we can unmute them. So there is one question from Gandhar. He would like to know regarding ERP data, like invoice tools are not stored in AWV. How do you build digital assistants around data stored in ERP tables?
Yeah. So maybe if I can share my screen one more time, then because it's definitely a good question, right? So what we did on the EMEA Tech side was also think this through, right? Because between Autonomous Data Warehouse and Oracle Digital Assistant, you basically have some sort of standard way of communicating right now, which is really easy. But the ERP data, of course, resides in Fusion, and also the tables there are not accessible directly. So what we did, we used the ERP adapters within Oracle Integration Cloud, which are fantastic because you can, get all the changes and put them into an Autonomous Data Warehouse. And then also you have them more logically, right? So you have an API for invoices and you have an API for supplier, for instance, which makes it really easy to then connect it to an Oracle Digital Assistant. So this is how we do it. And more information on this I will share on my LinkedIn when this template is more developed. I will definitely share it on my LinkedIn. So if you contact me there, then you will see this pop up automatically in your feed. Okay.
Martin, any questions you would like to highlight?
Yeah, well, I think that getting started with knowledge bots is definitely a good idea, but let's not forget that the baseline for the customers is a real conversational interface, and also being able to transaction and get data out of other systems, which is fantastically supported in Oracle Digital Assistant. So make that part of your scope, and if you face any issues, you know the people to contact. We're here to help.
Solina, are there any questions you would like to highlight? And you may want to announce your next office hour on the HCM bot.
I think there are actually quite a few answers about how to enable the SaaS skills in Fusion application. So obviously, we have our HCM Digital Assistant Community Forum, and also another one, Mobile and Digital Assistant, that is managed by the platform team. So I highly recommend you spend some time to our Customer Connect community forums. But I guess there is a question, I think ChatGPT. So if anyone has got any answers for this.
Yeah, ChatGPT is a solution from Microsoft, and there are some questions regarding SOX compliance. I fully agree it's not SOX compliant, and it's hard to include enterprise data and control them. So we have to refer to Microsoft to answer that question. So thank you very much, Martin. Thank you for the excellent webcast and the nice examples. I hope we all inspired you to get started with an enterprise bot based on Oracle Digital Assistant. There are plenty of demos, and please make sure you attend our webcast tomorrow on the product updates. And we have more webcasts coming on success stories, which are always a great example to get inspired for your customer base. Martin, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Solina.
Jürgen,
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye,
and
everyone.
our next community webcast will be on April 25th. Once you leave the webinar, please also complete the online survey. Thank you for attending.